Buffalo is the second-largest city in the U.S. state of New York, after New York City, and the seat of Erie County. It lies in western New York, at the eastern end of Lake Erie, at the head of the Niagara River, on the United States border with Canada. With a population of 278,349, Buffalo is the 78th largest city in the United States. Buffalo and the city of Niagara Falls together make up the two-county Buffalo-Niagara Falls Metropolitan Statistical Area, which had an estimated population of 1.1 million, making it the 49th largest metropolitan statistical area in the United States. Before the 17th century, the region was inhabited by nomadic Palia Indians who were succeeded by the neutral, Erie, and Iroquois nations. In the early 17th century, the French began to explore the region. In the 18th century, Iroquois land surrounding Buffalo Creek was ceded through the Holland Land Purchase, and a small village was established at its headwaters. In 1825, after its harbor was improved, Buffalo was selected as the terminus of the Erie Canal, which led to its incorporation in 1832. The canal stimulated its growth as the primary inland port between the Great Lakes and the Atlantic Ocean. Transshipment made Buffalo the world's largest grain port of that era. After the coming of railroads greatly reduced the canal's importance, the city became the second-largest railway hub, after Chicago. During the mid-19th century, Buffalo transitioned to manufacturing, which came to be dominated by steel production. Later, deindustrialization and the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway saw the city's economy decline and diversify. It developed its service industries, such as healthcare, retail, tourism, logistics, and education, while retaining some manufacturing. In 2019, the gross domestic product of the Buffalo-Niagara Falls Metropolitan Statistical Area was $53 billion. However, not all areas of the city are glitzy and spectacular. Instead, there are impoverished communities, thus one must find a method to survive on Buffalo's streets. Compared to the national average, Buffalo, New York has a far higher rate of both violent and property crime. Recent estimates indicate that Buffalo has a violent crime rate of 56.6, which is higher than the U.S. average of 22.7. In a similar vein, Buffalo's property crime rate is 61.4 versus the 35.4 national average. It's evident that Buffalo has a higher than average crime rate, highlighting the need for more stringent safety regulations and proactive law enforcement tactics to assist lower the city's high crime rates. Gang violence has been a source of a variety of crimes in Buffalo for decades, including violent murders. The FBI estimates there are between 40 and 50 street gangs in Buffalo with roughly 800 members. Almost paralyzed by gunshots, Conway the Machine survived 3 gunshots to his neck, ear, and shoulder, almost becoming a victim of Buffalo's streets. Conway overcame the streets of Buffalo and went on to assist Westside Gun in founding Griselda Records, which started out as an underground rap group before becoming well-known worldwide thanks to their unique sound and hard lyrics that attracted the attention of Eminem and Jay-Z. These days, Conway is considered one of the greatest MCs of all time, drawing comparisons to the likes of Big L, Big Pun, and many other legends.
Get 'em, it's your boy, the machine. Check, hey yo, guess who's here? Fresh new gear. Conway the illest, the guest appear on any track. The Mac Tech is near. 32 shots and make your Lexus veer. The VVS is in my neck and ears. The Jets is leer, the necklace clear. I take off in the booth, the jet is here. Futuristic.
Conway the Machine was born in Buffalo, New York, in 1982. Even as a small child, he sensed he was destined to be a rapper since his lyrics were so much better than ordinary. Working initially with local producers under the names Loose Cannon and Killa Angel before committing to Conway. Conway started recording mixtapes when he was 15 years old. Later, he met a well-known Buffalo drug dealer who was making a lot of money on the streets. His friend told him his music was good and that he should keep recording, adding that he would provide Conway with anything he needed. As Conway was busy making records and having someone with a lot of money backing him up, everything was looking good for him and was ready to put Buffalo on the map. Conway, regrettably, caught a case in his early 20s while committing crimes on the streets, and he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. After he was released from prison, he met DJ Shea, who at the time had the greatest recording studio equipment in his area. He made the decision to collaborate with DJ Shea, and they started working together. Despite being approached by other well-known record labels with offers of contracts, Conway turned them down because he could not understand the terms of the deals and did not want to sign the first one that was offered to him. He knew that signing a record contract would give the record label ownership of every song the rapper recorded, so he was waiting for a better deal that he could understand and also knew that in the long run, he would benefit from it, but overall he was not ready. Conway once competed in a 64-person rap battle competition held in Buffalo. Despite losing to the winner, he made it to the last two, which devastated him to the point where he considered giving up on rap since he always believed he was the best MC in Buffalo. Coming second crushed him. Conway later moved to Atlanta with his brother Westside Gun, hoping to have a better opportunity to succeed in the rap business there as Atlanta is a hub for emerging musicians. While residing in Atlanta, they started collaborating on a few mixtapes. After completing the recording of his mixtape, he made the decision to return to Buffalo, New York, in order to promote it. He attempted to get the mixtape played at clubs and at Parkway festivals, and he was successful in getting some airplay and invitations to perform at some of the clubs. Conway's life will never be the same after this night, when he and a few buddies went to promote his mixtape. Conway was having fun promoting his mixtape and singing his rhymes to the packed club as they enjoyed a few beers. They decided to call it a night. Conway drove the car that he and his pals were riding in. While Conway was dropping off his friends, while pulling up on a red light, gunshots were fired at the back of the car hitting Conway and his cousin who was sitting at the back. Conway was hit on the neck, ear, and shoulder, and his cousin was shot twice in the legs, but his injuries were not life-threatening. After being shot, Conway could not hear anything and he was slowly losing conscious, and his friend who was sitting in the front seat on the passenger side was trying to keep him awake until the ambulance came. After being shot, he stayed in hospital for a couple of weeks before being released, but he had to go back for another period of time as his injuries were severe. He had one surgery where he had to have the bullet in his neck removed. He couldn't feel his body and couldn't walk for like over a year. Only his left part of the face was working. The doctor had to remove a piece of a nerve that was working and connect it to the nerve that's damaged. He had the bullet in his neck for like 2 years before doctors could remove it. While Conway was healing, he initially avoided being seen by the public. He was depressed and ashamed by the way his face appeared, so he avoided going outside for fear that people would make fun of him. He also hated going to places with lots of people and filming music videos. As a result, he avoided going anywhere outside. Conway was trying to make a comeback, but many people didn't think he had much of a chance because he was in his 30s and rappers usually start getting noticed in their 20s. Also, they felt that his time as a rapper was over because, in 2012 and 2014, rappers like Lil Wayne, Meek Mill, and Drake were ruling the game, so Conway had no chance.
Emotional right now, I'm in my feelings. Sit back and watch this shit, please. Roll the switch and get high. We the homies behind the wall, all my niggas inside. All the niggas that die. Rest in peace to my niggas, I hope they live in the sky. Pour out some liquor, was your friend, for your niggas that died. For your niggas that got hit bad and didn't survive. Sometimes I feel like I remember this nigga alive. Cause we was
In 2014, Westside Gunn founded Griselda Records, through which Conway and Westside Gunn would self-release their own projects and the works of artists such as Benny the Butcher and Makumi. Conway released his 2015 debut album, The Devil's Reject, on Griselda. Seeing the success of Gunn's frequent Hitler Wears Hermes series, Conway upped his work ethic, releasing his sophomore album, Reject 2, and the collaborative project Hall & Nash, with Westside Gunn, in the latter half of 2015. Over grimy instrumentals produced by close collaborator Derringer, Conway used wordplay to relate his struggles with violence and street life, while also replicating the mafioso stylings of New York forefathers Jay-Z and Notorious B.I.G. The MC quickly put out 4 albums in 2016 and 2017, working closely with local peers such as Skyzoo and Rock Marciano. This elevated Griselda's prominence to the point where the group was offered a record deal by Eminem's Shady Records. On October 10, 2017, Conway contributed an a cappella rap verse to the 2017 BET Hip Hop Awards Shady Cypher. The same year, Complex included Westside Gunn and Conway in their list of 15 best unofficial rap duos in the game, as well as 2 of the 17 artists to watch in 2017. Conway's first official release was GOAT. On December 21, 2017, which included production from Griselda's in-house producer Derringer and The Alchemist, and featured Royce da 5'9", Raekwon, Prodigy, Styles P and Lloyd Banks. Earlier in 2017, he released a collaborative mixtape with DJ Green Lantern titled More Steroids. Following Griselda's deal with Shady Records, the following year, in addition to issuing his 4th solo album, Black Tape, Conway began his Everybody Is Food album series, releasing the first 2 projects in August and December. The 3rd volume appeared in April 2019 and was followed by Conway's first single with Eminem, Bang, which appeared in 2020 on his debut studio album, From King to a God. He paired with Method Man for the track Lemon later that year, and in 2021 he released the mixtape La Machina. Conway began 2022 with John Woo Flick, featuring Benny the Butcher and Westside Gunn, and Stressed, with Wallow 267, the first 2 singles from his second album, God Don't Make Mistakes. One of his most well-received projects, the album was announced as his final release with both Griselda and Shady, as he planned to concentrate on his own drumwork imprint. What Has Been Blessed Cannot Be Cursed, with Big Ghost, was released later in the year. In 2023, he issued the Jay Skis collaboration Pain Provided Profit and the full-length Won't He Do It. With the amount of material he produced, Conway is today considered the greatest of all time. Griselda was elevated to a new level by Conway's distinctive flow and his wounded, angry voice. The crew added their own unique sound to the mix. Since the founding of Griselda Records, they have been the most reliable rap group, never slowing down. Despite the fact that the group members do not always agree with one another, this has not had an impact on their careers. That is all for this video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.